Hello guys, welcome back to another React Native tutorial. In this React Native tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make a function which allows you to execute that function in anywhere. So it's like having a function in one screen and to execute the same function in another screen. So like it will make the function a global one. So to do that, I have created this example. In this example, there are two screens. This is the screen one. So in the screen one, I have created this state to hold the quantity, and I have displayed it like this. I can see the current quantity is 0, and there is a button. By clicking that button, you can go to the next screen, which is the screen 2. So in this screen 2, as you can see, I have created two buttons, one to increase the quantity and one to decrease the quantity. So by increasing quantity, by clicking the increase quantity button, what I want to do, I want to increase the quantity that I have displayed in screen 1. So I'm going to write a function to increase the quantity in screen 1, and then what I want to do, I'm going to execute the same function within screen 2 when I click the one of these buttons. Okay, I'm going to create two functions, one to increase the quantity and one to decrease the quantity, and I'm going to create both those functions in screen 1. Okay, so like I said before, in generally it's not recommended thing to pass a function through probes. Okay, so in this case, what we can do, we can use something like this, and the solution that I'm going to show you, it is an inbuilt thing. So it is again an advantage here, because we don't need to use any kind of third-party libraries. Okay, and for this example, I haven't used any kind of third-party libraries. I have used only the inbuilt components. All right, so I'm going to first create a function increase quantity, and in this function I'm going to use set quantity, and I'm going to go execute the current quantity like this, and I'm going to create another function to decrease the quantity. I'm going to do the same thing but opposite way. All right, so I have created these two functions. By executing this function, I can change the quantity. All right, then I'm going to create a use effect like this. So I'm going to use empty dependency list. That way I can do whatever I want, and that thing will execute once the component is created. All right, so to do this, I'm going to use this component called DeviceEventEmitter. All right, so this is something that you can get from the React Native package. So like I said before, you don't need to use any kind of third-party libraries to have this. So I'm going to do something like this. I'm going to create an event, and that event will behave as a global event within the application. So I'm going to create two events, one to increase the quantity, one to decrease quantity. So let's see, now the device setting, device event emitter dot add listener, and to create a listener we should have a name. So for the name, I will use the same name that I have given to the function name, and for the function I'm going to use increase quantity. Okay, so this is really simple thing. You can create a listener like this using DeviceEventEmitter, and I'm going to do the same thing to create a listener for the decrease quantity, just like this. All right, so I have created two events, and those two events will have those two functions. Now I can use this event in anywhere within my application by this name. Alright, so in the next screen I'm going to use these listeners. Let me show you how to use these listeners. In the screen 2, I'm going to add the on-press listener to button number 1, which is the increase quantity button. Alright, so in here, whatever, okay, let me like go to the next screen. So whatever the time I have clicked this button, I can't see any kind of update in this screen. So to see any kind of update, I'm going to create a new state variable, and in that state variable I'm going to hold the count that I have clicked the button. So I'm going to like create count, set count, and this is for the increase button. Count increase, set count increase. Count will start from 0. I'm going to concat this count variable to my title, the button title. Okay, I will do the same thing in decrease button, and I'm going to create another state, count decrease, set count decrease. All right, count decrease. All right, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to increase the increase count value. Let's say set count increase current plus 1. I mean, there are no any kind of connection between the state and the event. I have just created this state so that you can see how many times I have clicked the button. All right, okay. So the same thing, let me apply it to the button number 2, set count decrease. All right, so before I'm going to execute the event, I will show you what I have done. Okay, let me put a space. All right, so whenever let's say I'm going to click like this, so you can see how many times I have clicked the button like this. All right, so both have different values. All right, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the same class DeviceEventEmitter, and I'm going to call the emit function. Okay, so we use the emit function to execute those created events. All right, I have created 2 events in my screen number 1. The first one is increase quantity, and I'm going to use the same name here. So now I'm going to call increase quantity function, and I'm going to call the decrease quantity function. Let me copy the name in button number 2. All right, now let's refresh one more time. All right, so at the startup you see the quantity is 0. I'm going to the next screen. I'm going to increase quantity to 6, and let's go back. As you can see, now the quantity has changed to 6. So I didn't do any kind of update during the transition between the screens. Okay, the change happened immediately once I click the increase button. And let's see the decrease thing as well. So I'm going to decrease like 8, and you can see the number is -2, means 6 minus 8 is -2. Yeah, that's why you can see the -2. And let's see, let's -3 more, so you will see -5. Yeah, so I think you got the idea. This way, I mean, like, you don't have to pass the function with the navigation. I mean, that is not the recommended way again. I want to mention. So yeah, this is the best way you can do. I mean, you can use this way. I mean, in a couple of screens. Okay, so you have to like create those things one time, and in anywhere in multiple locations you can use the same listener, and it is going to work. But again, one more thing, let's say if you wanted to like send some kind of input into this function. All right, so I'm going to like have an input, let's say new quantity, that's going to be a number. So I'm going to like pass that quantity, new quantity, as my quantity, current quantity, instead of increasing it by 1. All right, so in this case I can't now use this function like this, because there is a parameter to that function. So instead of using it like this, I'm going to create a new function, and in that function let's say, all right, you know what, let's keep it back to this, and in the next screen where you are going to execute that action, you can pass the parameters within the second parameter. So like in the second parameter, you can pass whatever the values you wanted to pass into that function. So I'm going to pass, let's say 5. That means I wanted to pass the number 5 as the new quantity. All right, so I'm going to save this one now, and let's refresh one more time. All right, let's go to the next page. I'm going to click this button now just one time. All right, let's go back. As you can see, the quantity has changed to 5. So that means you know now how you can like pass parameters when you call the event. This is how you can pass the parameter to the function which holds by the event. All right, so again, last point is, once you create an event like this, and it is not going to destroy it by default. Okay, so it is not going to be destroyed. It will be in the application every time unless you are going to destroy it. So if you want to destroy it, I mean, I'm recommending you should do this once the component that is going to hold the event is destroyed. At that time, event should be also destroyed at the same time. So what you can do, you can like have the return statement here, and this will like work as the destructor. So once the component is destroyed, if you want to do something, you can do it in this scope. So in here you can do DeviceEventEmitter dot remove all listeners, and you can pass the listener name that you wanted to to get destroyed. All right, so I can do the same thing to decrease quantity as well. Yeah, so this is the recommended way to use DeviceEventEmitter to have listeners in your application. And I hope you got something from this tutorial, and I will be back with another tutorial with a valuable point. Thank you.